suggested, you need to say why. So you need to say, I'm not interested in including citing that article because that's not my project and I'm working on this, blah, blah, blah. So it's just that you address every single comment that's made. And it's important that you send that back and be as specific as you can. If you've made a change, say where you made that change. List it. If it's line 5 on the second page, make sure to be as detailed as possible because that helps the editor. Again, be specific and defend your position. You know, if you've gotten this feedback, make sure that you defend it thoroughly and confidently, but don't be too defensive about it. And again, if you get sometimes you'll get 2 reports that are slightly different. One will say, hey, I really like this, I like everything about it, and the next person will say, oh, I really hated this section. It's no problem. Go back to the editor and ask for clarity. Usually they'll give you some ahead of time, but if they don't, it's fine. You just need to go back and ask the editor their opinion. All right, I just thought I'd go really quickly over the top reasons for rejection here. You might have wondered why I focus so much on the decisions around choosing a journal, and it's mainly for this top one. Most editors say the reason why they reject articles is because they didn't fit the scope of the journal. So again, you want to make sure that you take that time to make sure that that journal is a good fit for your research. A lot of these other issues really can be addressed by you sharing your work ahead of time as much as possible. So getting as much feedback as you can ahead of time. And down at the end, we're dealing with some of the issues that Sabina has addressed around publication ethics. All right, if your paper is, if your paper is accepted, here's some things that you want to keep in mind. You want to keep all those versions of the paper that I talked about earlier, especially if you're publishing in a non-open access journal. Keep in contact with your production editor. They're trying to get your paper published as quickly as possible. There will be a lot of proofs coming back. You need to turn those proofs around quickly. You usually only have a couple days max. So really do try and keep up to speed with those timelines that they've given you. And if you have any doubts or confusion or anything, talk to your production editor. They're there to help. That's their job. So don't feel shy about contacting them. Oops. All right. You know what? I think we're running out of time, so I think I'm going to stop with the post-publication. Is that all right? No? Okay, I'll continue then. All right, just a few tips on what to do after you're published. And I really like this quote here about self-promotion and really about how you can think about your work and sharing it moving forward. Publishers and societies that own journals do a lot of work to try and draw people to your articles. But it's much more effective if you work with publishers and you use your own networks to spread the fact that you've just published something. So here's some tips on how you can think about maximizing the impact of your journal and the visibility to it. Some of them are really basic. You'll see a lot of times people with their email signature, they'll post a link to their article right below. That's a really easy way to do it. So a few of my friends have new publications and then they'll have a link and people can click through and access the article that way. If you've published open access, it's not a problem. If you haven't published open access, publishers oftentimes give you a number of free access links that you can share. So Taylor and Francis, I believe, we give 49. So you can share those with people in your network, but also maybe somebody who you've cited in your papers, someone who inspired the work. You know, you can share it. Of course, you want to share it in a respectful way, like, I enjoyed your work and I engaged with it here. Feel free to read this and leave it at that. But that's another way of expanding your network. Social media is extremely effective. Again, if you have Facebook, LinkedIn, any of these types of social media sites, Twitter, just, you know, posting a link to your new article saying, hey, I published. Check it out if you're interested. And again, that will help people discover your work. And just quickly, one of the things that our marketing department thinks about when they're thinking about social. Yep. Now we're done? Yeah, okay. I'll leave it at that. Is that it? Oh, just wrap up. Okay. Right, I don't think we'll share these. Right. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I can share these slides after the fact. I've been talking